documentary, I have interviewed many people about how texting and social media can affect our history.
Technology has changed the way of life, really, and one of the neatest things I think is cell phones and the ability to reach people at any point in time, anywhere, especially now with smartphones, to search the internet and have all this information at our fingertips. Even just making movie arrangements or dinner reservations or whatever, it's right there. We jump in the car first, and then we work out the details as we drive to wherever we're going.
The biggest change I'd probably have to say is the ubiquity of digital technology and social media. Everyone's just attached, if they want to or not.
Black and white TV to colored TV. That was quite an advancement.
Well, specifically with the GPS on the cell phone, it's just a lot easier for me to find places.
Well, when I was on my mission, we'd go to the mailbox every day to check see if we got a letter. And I was in the States, so usually the news or information was a week old. For example, I'm just writing McKell, who will get this tomorrow, and it's, the news is 12 hours old compared to 7 days or a week old.
Well, I think that it'll have a positive effect in the sense that we have all this written communications between people that can be archived and accessed. We have kind of a online history. When I think about my parents and their parents, for example, I don't know what my mom and dad were saying to each other when they were dating and courting and so forth, and I don't have any information about what my dad did with his buddies when he was in high school. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was ever written, really. If it was, I don't think it was saved. And so I think one of the neat things is, there's a possibility that your kids or your grandkids could look back and see some of the activities you were involved in and some of your posts and stuff, and get an idea about who Grandpa B was, right?
So yeah, there's just a lot more direct communication. There's a lot more information that's readily available.
Well, it connects the world to each other like it hasn't ever before. I think the information available is far beyond what I ever had when I was younger. Back when I was younger, if you weren't by a phone at the house, you couldn't be found. Now, sometimes that's good too.
I think it could negatively affect history in the sense of people becoming really dependent on cell phones and texting. I mean, you already see it now. People are kind of glued to their cell phones 24/7. I know I am.
People tend to write things and text things that they would never say in person. So I think potentially they can come across the wrong way. So that could be a negative thing. The other negative thing potentially is, for youth, you do silly things when you're young sometimes, and crazy things, and you do things maybe that you regret later and you want to change and repent and be forgiven for, and have things that are forgotten. But with with the way online media is and texting and social media and so forth, you can have a track record that never goes away. People could look up things you've done or said, and that could stick with you for a long time. And I think that could potentially have a negative effect on people, people who want to change for the better.
Maybe years and years down the road, people are going to be looking through their textbooks and reading people's tweets for primary sources. Facebook status updates. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing.
Like anything, you get addicted. You get addicted to food, to drugs, to alcohol. I think you can to technology also. I think there needs to be limits to how much use there is. It just seems like everywhere you go, everybody's got their head down and their thumbs going crazy.
When we interview people, they give us a resume, we ask them questions and so forth, and you get an idea about who someone is, fairly quickly, and you make some assessments and judgments. And lately, we've been going and checking out their Facebook page and so forth, and finding that in some cases there are people who are way different than how they presented themselves in the interview. There were some who they were real possible candidates that we ended up just absolutely pitching. So there's people who don't want to be exposed to the bad things that are out there, and if there was a way for them to, a tool or some way for them to block that, I think that would be good. And I think we're moving in that direction. I'd like to see, better parental controls and that sort of thing, so people can enjoy the good things of the internet without having to worry about being exposed to the bad.
Just get people to put their phones down, get off their computer, go out, feel the wind in their hair, smell the roses, go talk to someone that they've never met.
Well, for example, I went in overload, and so Thursday I packed up by myself, got in my truck, my camper, and headed down to a place that I really enjoy down in southern Utah, and just spent a night and a day by myself. And I knew I didn't have cell service down there, so I knew no one could contact me. It was also remote enough that no one would be there. So it was nice to have 24 hours of really me. In fact, I heard a meadowlark for the first time in a year.